make sure my mic is on. Alright, good. Alright, good. Perfect. Alright, go ahead and share this. So this should be interesting. Boing. Just write a quick post here, and we'll be going here. So I've got this real-time Gadget Jam Expo VR. As you can see, I've been working on it for a while. These are all the versions. It was pretty wild. All the seasons and just getting the calendar, and wow, back in the day, like, we had a primitive bare bones concept here, you know. But as you can see, the day and night was pretty accurate. That was the second version. And, you know, originally I had this table. I had some stuff functioning, had the calendar working, but over time I added stuff, more seasons and surrounding features, and like my map edge barrier, you'll see this featured in there. There we go. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that I ended up using in here. And there's a lot of stuff that came out of me making this too. So, you know, out of this came, you know, the analog clock, you know, the first person guy with the watch idle animation, the calculate remainder time chip, the basic clock GUI. What, I guess I should call that the basic digital clock GUI. Basic digital clock GUI. Just give whatever folks are coming along their time to join. We're probably good to start here. Yeah, we got the time and date troubleshooter out of this, so you can switch between the American and international month and date. You can add the milliseconds. There's all these things, all these tools that I created, so hopefully I lived up to the name of a community jam, you know. I really did feel like I was jamming because, you know, unmilitary time came out of this too. Pretty sick. So that's going to be something decent that a lot of people will use, you know. Takes the hour from 0 to 23 or whatever it is and converts it to 1 to 12 and then gives you AM or PM. So, but that's just one small piece in this creation here. Real-time Gadget Jam Expo VR. So let's take a look. We open it. Right now, it's 10:13, so hopefully you can see the clock there in the scene. And then my wrist comes up. It's Tuesday. Maybe I'll be able to show it. See? 10:13. It's backwards though. And see, 35, 36. So I tried to sync up my real clock, but sometimes it's a little late, but it should change to 10:14 at about the same time. Of course, it's backwards for some reason, but see, 57, 58, 59. There you go. 10:14. So I sort of modeled it off of this digital clock, and that's the first thing we've got. Of course, it is Tuesday, 10/14, December 6th, right? I don't know. Kinda shows up. Tuesday at the top there doesn't really show up. It's too blurry, but got it here too. But yeah, the analog clock is on the tree there, but this calendar tells you the date, and that little circle there, the green highlighted circle, is where you stand to get the functions of the calendar, which I'll be demonstrating. But yeah, if you come over to the clock, you can see the hands are pretty close to accurate. It's like slightly off, only because the timeline is kind of... Yeah, now this... My phone seems to be too bright. Maybe I could turn down the brightness. I don't know if that'll show it better. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. It's backwards, of course, from the camera, but the analog clock is pretty accurate. Yeah, now you can see Tuesday, December 6th. And there's, you know, the analog clock on the tree tells you the date in that rounded black square there. And then you've got a wreath around the clock pretty much in every season except for summer. There's just different features. You can hear the sleigh bells when you get close to this penguin and sled. You're walking around. You can only walk so far, but you know, there's reindeer. The map edge barrier I showed you will stop you from going out of bounds. But this is the area that has the interactables, you know, all the things that you can do are basically right here, but just stops you from wandering too far. I have the environment extending out a little bit so that, you know, whenever you look in a given direction you see mountains, and it looks pretty much complete, you know. And fortunately, when you stand over here, you can browse the calendar and preview the different seasons as well. So when we press the touchpad button here, it'll change from showing you the day here on the calendar up on the top right to showing you what year it is. So now you know you're in browse mode. You see, it's telling you up in the top right corner when you're in DualShock mode. It'll say, left stick to move, R to look around, and then the touchpad button to browse the months. And then once you press that, it's showing you January 2022, and then you can use the D-pad to browse the months, right? So if you go left, you can't go anywhere because you're already on January in the beginning. So you go right, you've got February, still winter. March is spring. So immediately the environment changes in like a spring forest. And, you've got a butterfly here. Got a couple things. Got birds in their nest. Got these bees that buzz when you get near them. Yeah, here's a bird. So yeah, someone else made that bird. But it fits very nice in the spring scene. Here's the wreath around the clock for spring. We've got the bear. And notice like the rock and the log and the tree are in the same general spot in each scene. So that's pretty cool. That just carries over. But so that's winter. Got the snowman and the skis over here. And this night lamp, of course, is only on at night. So that's also a pretty cool feature. We've got, see, it'll give you the holidays in every month pretty much automatically in DualShock mode. So that's different in VR. It's pretty neat. So we see winter, spring. This is what summer looks like. See, it's like an island, tropical island. There's birds that fly around. And there's dolphins too that will dance around the water. See? And again, you can't really go outside this boundary, and there's an invisible floor, so it's pretty neat. You can walk on the water. But this is what summer looks like. You've got your beach chairs, bucket of beer, flip-flops, umbrella. Somebody else made that stuff, the table. I just recolored the table. And yeah, it's 10:20 now. As you can see, 7 minutes have elapsed, which makes sense. It was 10:13 when we started this. So that's pretty neat. I didn't even anticipate that. So yeah, see, in summer, we don't have a wreath, but we have the clock just kind of being held up by these balloons that I put a string on and animated. It's just a fleck attached to the balloon and the analog clock at both sides. As you can see, when you switch in seasons, the clock stays in the same place too. But, birds, some seagulls. On the island, got the volcano, the beach ball. But yeah, no big tree, because, it's too sandy, the environment doesn't make sense for that. But then this log becomes like a piece of driftwood, so pretty interesting. You've got the calendar pictures on them, which I did not make. Just put them there. But I decided which pictures should go in each month. As you can see, when we switch to September, you get your autumn. You've got a squirrel here that jumps up on the log and eats his acorn, then jumps back down. We've got turkeys, and they gobble when you walk up to them. We've got like a grain wreath around the clock in autumn. Same tree, but it's got autumn leaves. This is actually how the tree is by default. When you, that's the way it's saved anyway, I think. Or vice versa, I can't remember. But the hue slider is pulled to a certain place, you just pull it back, and it turns the leaves green, like in spring. But yeah, the tree's in pretty much the same place. I had to like line them all up, because they're separate scenes. and they're so huge it's hard to place them. But as you can see, in the autumn, you've got mountains in the distance, trees. Somewhat. You got some pumpkins, so the rock, log, tree, all in the same place from autumn to winter. Whew. Some stuff. Nice birch trees. And so yeah, this is how everything functions in DualShock. You just, whenever you're standing over this bright green circle, you see your controls up there will change. And you use your touchpad and your D-pad to switch between, this mode. And then you see now it says show today instead of browse months. So when you press it again, it brings you back to today, which is December 6th. And then whenever you press browse months, you just end up back on whatever month you were viewing. So say we're in July, the summer. And of course, it's nighttime because it's, 10:23 p.m. I don't know why I looked at my real clock. Literally could have just looked at this clock. I don't trust my own invention, but I should at this point because I've been through every troubleshooting step, guys. So all the rocks are lined up. That's like one of the proudest things. I'm like, yeah, everything's lined up. But, the clock, we've got 10 minutes have passed now from 10:13 to 10:23. So that's our cue to go in VR mode and demo the differences. I'm not going to turn off my controller so that we still have our audio here. And yeah, we're in browse mode again. So see, July, go to today, December 6th, back to browse, we're in July. So it's wherever you leave it off, but the default is January. That's how I set it up. Turn on our VR here, and this actually I've programmed it to detect whether my Move controllers are on, so select my profile with both Move controllers. And here we are, now we're in. And see the body down underneath of our first person puppet. Yeah, we have a body here. We've had it the whole time. You just can't look at it in the well, you can't look at it. You could look at it, I think, because you can change your view. I just didn't demo it. But yeah, it looks like it's off-center a little bit. If that's the case, you can hold start on your primary Move controller and it'll recenter it. And it's right below you, really. As long as you're, pretty much sitting right in front of the camera. So, here's how it looks in VR. And see, we get our wristwatch telling us it's Tuesday, 10:25 p.m. See, unmilitary time chip is used here and on the wristwatch, and yeah, those two places because that's the digital clock. And yeah, basically this puppet, the first person puppet, moves the same way the Media Molecule one does when you're in VR mode. Basically, the trigger on the secondary controller is used to move the puppet. So you pull that trigger on the secondary controller, which is the left for me since I'm right-handed, and you push it forward in space, it moves you forward. You push it backward, it moves you back. You push it left, it moves you left. You push it right, it moves you right. And then with your primary controller, instead of the trigger, it's that move button right in the center of the X, circle, square, and triangle. That big thumb move button on your Move controller, and then you move it left or right to spin left or right with your view. So, yeah. So left imp, forward, back. But your imps don't really appear until you can select something. So there's a couple of things that you can interact with in each season. So if I walk over to the skis, here on the ski rack, it'll pull up your imps so that you can pretty much pick up these skis and move them around. I'll put a pair of skis over there. See, the issue with that is like once you're far away from the rack, I should have it for the skis themselves, but you know, I only had so much time. But still pretty cool because you could at least put them on the table. You're close enough to do that. But yeah, if you get too much far away, you'll drop the skis because it's the ski rack itself sensing where you are. But you can pick all of them up and move them wherever you want, you know. I believe you can pick up this penguin and move him wherever you... Yes, you can. You can move him right on this table too, you know. I don't know if he'll stand up, but... can kind of lean him on these things. I don't know, I love fooling around in VR. But yeah, he likes to fall over. Ooh, 10:28 now. 15 minutes have passed since I've been messing around here. I don't know. I guess I could put him... Well, wherever you put him, he's gonna be there. You know what I mean? So that's cool. If I put him here, up against this rock, you know, he'll be there whenever I come back to this season. So instead of the, you know, because you don't have a touchpad when you're in the VR mode, I stood up now. So this is cool. So I can move over here, and now our controls are here. So we use X in the bottom left corner of our primary controller to click Browse Calendar here. And then you get these buttons, So you're already on January, can't go anywhere. But you can go to February, March, April. And instead of it popping up and giving you the information about the holiday immediately, you have to hover over it with your beam here. So that's cool. And then this will change, and then this is how you jump back to today. See, I went right over that. So it popped up. See, St. Patrick's Day, Chinese New Year, Valentine's Day. And so I forget how many holidays I put in here, but you know, I tried to put the main ones: International Workers' Day, and you know, so we're just browsing, and see, now we're in a different season. We're in summer. So when you go over to the beach ball, your imps come up again, and you can grab it. And I'm using the trigger to grab these things, And when I yeet it downwards, it bounces like a beach ball should. But be careful with that, because the walls here, the invisible walls, are only so high, so you'll lose your beach ball, you know? But there's it's basically a big circular or spherical trigger zone on the beach ball, so wherever it is, when you walk up to it, you'll get your imps and you'll be able to pick it up. So it's not like the skis. You won't drop the ball. You can carry the ball wherever you want. So that was cool that I was able to do that. But same thing, wherever we put the ball, it'll be there when we come back to this scene. So that's pretty cool. Nothing conflicts because, you know, each scene is mutually exclusive. They're only ever powered exclusively. So if I go back to show today, we're in December 6th again. So it's winter. Our skis are exactly where we left them. And here's our penguin exactly where we left him. Yeah, you could put skis in the snowman's hands here. Oop, I had it. I didn't think it would stay, but it totally did. So, See, go to browse calendar, you're right back. And then the birds, you know, they go right by you, right where you can see them. And the dolphins, you know, you'll see them here too in VR, but you'll hear them sometimes, but you don't always hear the dolphins. I think the birds always make a noise. Where are they? There they are. You hear them? I heard the dolphins. There they are. Let's see. You can go over. But again, in VR, you know, these map edge barriers will stop you from going out of bounds. But you can walk around and look at the volcano and see the birds and look up at the night sky. Got our night light. See, there's our beach ball where we left it. Right where the chair is. Boing. And here's our clock. Okay, let me read the analog clock. 10:35-ish. Just before 10:35. Yeah, 10:33. Well, which very closely changing the 10:34. See, the minute hand and the hour hands are kind of hard to position, but that's what that calculate remainder chip is for. Because it helps you kind of position the hour and minute hands more precisely, because it takes into account the remainder of the minutes too, and you know, the second hand basically just has like 60 positions that it's supposed to be, you know, because it's divided into all the minutes. I'm not sure if it's 60 or 59, but 5 for each section, you know. Divided into 12 wedges, basically. 5 minutes each. And, yeah, it was a mess getting all this to work, but miraculously it does. See, my head's over here. It's all the way to the left of my body now, so I'll just hold start on my right controller, or my primary one. And now see, it's right underneath me where it's supposed to be. See? When you come over here, by the flip-flops and the beer, you can pretty much pull the beer out. And, so I'm not sure where the beer detector is, where it gives you your imps, but you can actually like reel it in by pressing X on your secondary one, which for me is the left, and then like twisting it. So bring the beer to you, or like extend it outwards and put it on the table. I don't know if I could stand it up. I think so. It has a pretty flat base there. See, this is the challenge about with VR, because yeah, you gotta get it like this and then turn it that way. There. Okay. Oh no, I'm gonna kick it over. Okay. See? I can reposition my controller again. Yeah, I'm standing up too high, but there we go. So yeah, we point our beam at these arrows. Press X, and same exact thing, same exact deal. See, we're in November now. And we can walk over to the analog clock at the tree. The turkey gobbles at us. Oh, you can pick up these pumpkins here in autumn. So see, anything I put on the table is there. Whenever I go over here, we're in browse months mode, so I'll hit X on here. From autumn, when we're back to summer, there's our beer. Birds in the sky. It's just fun, like all these things combined, you know. In spring, these mushrooms and flowers that were just scenery before, you can actually pick them up and move them. You can put them on the table if you want. I think. There we go. The mushroom one's a little sketchy, but yeah, it is possible. I'm gonna recenter my imp. Go say hi to the bear and the bees. Bird hanging around. But yeah, it's cool because it keeps the flowers and the mushrooms in one place until you like pick them. Use the trigger on your secondary, and then after you've picked them, you know, you just place them somewhere and let them fall. I think there's an area where you can pick up the flowers from. Let's see, I'll put one on the table next to the mushroom. And then that'll be on the table. You could also use your imps from the calendar if you want. And then reel it. Oh! It probably just fell in that spot, I bet. Oh yeah, check it out. So now that's what'll be on the table whenever we go back to this month. Our rear, our skis all over the place, our pumpkin in autumn. And so yeah, this is all for 2022, eh? So we're just browsing months in December now with the skis. If we're showing today, it gives us the red square. It tells us it's December 6th. And yeah, that's how we actually get the day on our watch. It's an idle animation, eh? See, Tuesday. It knows that because this first row or first column is always Saturday, you know, on a calendar. This is always Monday, and this is always Tuesday. So the calendar actually feeds the day to the digital watch. See our snowman still holding the pair of skis. Those skis are still up against the rock. But yeah, the idle animation only happens when you're, you know, pretty much not moving at all. And he'll just check his watch. Little first person puppet guy. And I did sculpt the face of this puppet. But I used someone's, and the clothing. I used someone's puppet and started sculpting clothing and the face. And yeah, just because he's first person, you can't really see him in DualShock mode, but he's there. So 1040, and VR, you've still got your time elapsed up there. 27 minutes and 43 seconds. I'll take a sip of water. And yeah, believe it or not, it is nighttime because it's getting the real time, and it doesn't even just do day and night. It's a gradual transition from day and night. Now somebody else made the art itself, like the stars and the sky, and they put it in a nice timeline. I had to move the keyframes and the blend shapes though from basically different positions on the timeline so that I could, you know, get it all synced up, because the beginning and end was in a different place that I wanted it to be. So I have it set to where basically midnight is at the end and beginning of the timeline, and then noon is in the very middle. So this is all the microchips. These are all the microchips for each scene. As you can see, the snow is pretty much only where we are. It doesn't extend out forever. But I like the design of this snow the most. I didn't do the snow, but, you know, certain things like first person puppet. Yeah, like I did these clothes. I edited the watch. I edited pretty much almost everything I used. I made this snowman. I made this snowman from scratch. And I made the beach ball from scratch. So that's my beach ball. And I made this calendar from scratch, but I just used someone's pictures. But really, they didn't make that art either. But they did put it in sticker mode so that it has that sick like pastel kind of art look to it. I might, yeah, like see that pastel brush. But these are emojis, so it's pretty sick. They originally had frames, so I removed the frames so that I could use them for my calendar here. But yeah, see, with your beam, we hover over, we get Thanksgiving. We've got, I don't know why it flipped over October so fast. We've got Diwali, Halloween. And it'll give you the name of the holiday and a little description. So Diwali is India's festival of lights, candles and fireworks lit to celebrate the victory of good over evil. Halloween is whether you're carving, partying, or trick-or-treating. Don't be surprised if things get spooky. We've got Juneteenth, commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. We've got International Workers' Day, May 1st, honors the struggles and triumphs of workers and labor movements across the globe. Got Easter, celebrates the resurrection of Jesus on Easter Sunday, so eggs are collected on scavenger hunts. Got St. Patrick's Day, celebration of St. Patrick of Ireland, March 17th. We've got Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 17th. And see, this is 22. I'll remix this calendar and make a 2023 calendar. Celebrates civil rights legend and author of I Have a Dream, Martin Luther King Jr. So, yeah, I think this might always be the 17th, but certain holidays change, eh? Like, I think St. Patrick's Day is always the 17th as well. Valentine's Day is always the 14th, but Chinese New Year is not always February 1st. In fact, it's often in January. So, Chinese New Year, I have to move it around. That's why. But I have a neat little system set up to where, like, if you see these numbers, like, for a split second, they have, like, these different values, and then they're all calculated based on how much they need to shift over based on these gray boxes. So there's a little bit of math that is involved in setting up these numbers, and it chops off whatever is not needed. But I have to do a little bit of manual setup to get everything working just right. So I'll do that for 2023 and maybe add a couple more holidays and revamp this scene a little bit. But what else we got? Oh yeah, we've show Thanksgiving, show of gratitude for the past year's harvest and other blessings is usually celebrated with a large feast. And yeah, Christmas, of course, decorations, carols, and candy canes. Last but not least, presents. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, so there you go. And it'll still be there if you hit show today. But then you've got your red square. And that'll shift over to 7 whenever this passes 12 p.m., etc., etc., etc. But, like, someone made these really pretty lights, and yeah. So, but yeah. Curated the scene, got everything all set up the way I like it. I guess our skis, I don't know if they got, oh yeah, everything got reset because I went into the edit mode to show you the chips. But that's cool, so we can set everything up in new places again. But before we do that, in the chips here, I'll show you the see this live time of day, sun and sky. Very neat creation that also came out of this, by the way. Because, see, here it is. Real-time day-night cycle. The time gadget is used to calculate an overall percentage of day passed, which then animates the playhead of a day-night cycle timeline. When you stamp this gadget in your dream scene, day or nighttime visuals will match those in real life. And yeah, it sounds crazy, it sounds hard to believe, but it's true. This playhead is exactly right here because of what time it is. Because it's 10. And that's the funny thing about the time gadget in Dreams. You don't even have to start time. The time gadget is already live before you even start time in edit mode or press start and go into play mode. But, because it's 10:48, like I said, we're almost at the end of the timeline because the very end is 12 p.m., right? Right exactly at midnight. And then it starts here in the morning. So I had to move these things like left and right, and then I kind of decided on this structure. And, but yeah, someone made this really beautiful night sky and then also this daytime sky, right? So I don't think I can play. Oh yeah, I can play this without disconnecting everything. So see, this is what it looks like in the morning and in the day. So they have this like really nice purple transition from nighttime and daytime. See? Beautiful daytime, that's what it looks like. And see, in the daytime, there are light shuts off, and then boom, it comes back on at night. So that light, the night light, is part of this keyframe. So it doesn't actually like detect if it's night. It's programmed into here to know that that's when night is, and that's when the lamp has to turn on. Yeah, this is the keyframe for it, I think. I didn't name it, but this is definitely the one that turns on that. Or turns it off, rather, because it's on by default. See? Boop. On. It'll be on until there. Off. And I just do that by like dragging down all the brightness sliders on the light there. But yeah, you've got this. Use local time to animate the day-night cycle. And that's all contained in this, which, is really called real-time day-night cycle if you're looking for it, this thing. Ooh, whoops. But I'll show you what it's derived from. So if I just go, I can access it here from the genealogy. This real-time day-night cycle is derived from day-night cycle version 3 synced. So this one is for regular games that aren't based on real-life time. You just set how long you want a day to be in seconds or minutes or whatever. I think it's in seconds. Yeah, it's in seconds. So this version will sync and maintain the current time of day across all scenes in a dream. So if you just want it to be the same time of day or night, whatever, in one scene of a dream to another, you can have it doing that. And it's initially set up to be very fast. And then this comes from Julio Gurr. See right here. Because they made the original day-night cycle V2. That's what I based this off of. I added the variable that carries over from each scene in a dream to maintain the same time. And now we have this, which is based on the actual time of day. So wait a minute, if I go into edit mode here, I'll say latest version. If I go into edit mode and see, if I just look at this one building block of the expo, oh yeah, I did name the chip live time of day, sun and sky. So there you go. You learn more things about your own creations every day. But shared creations, I should say. So yeah, they got this teleporter. They set up all this stuff. But yeah, I put this time gadget in there. And then now, this time variable, the local time, is fed through this node and then split with this splitter. And it's fed into our calculate remainder chip. And that remainder is used to add on to the hour. So I take the hour and then the minute and second and millisecond, calculate the remainder. It basically like gives you a decimal to add on to the hour value, so that instead of 0 to 23 and only having those values, like the discrete rational numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the whole numbers there, you've got 1.5 for 130, you know what I mean? And then 13.5 for 1:30 p.m., etc., etc., etc. You have a very accurate decimal number that is fed into this timeline. So whatever the accurate decimal for 1054, I have to look outside of my thing since now I'm just in this one piece. It's got the timeline exactly right here. And I can prove it's really taking every last microsecond or whatever, millisecond, into consideration by zooming in really close. If you look at this now, in VR, I'll have to show you, because in VR, this is too opaque. But I jump out of VR for a second, you'll see there. Now we're transparent again. If you go right up against this, you can see that this playhead is crawling, and if you take a look at one star right here, it wasn't covered by the playhead just a moment ago, and now it is. I'll take that same star and I'll just move very slightly to the edge of the other side of the playhead. So see, now the star is behind the playhead, but the playhead's inching along ever so slightly and slowly. And now the star is not covered by the playhead. And we zoom out and see, so that thing is crawling along this to determine what the whole environment, and this does extend forever. This is, well, pretty much, yeah, forever. If not, it stops you from zooming out too much, but that's just how Dreams is. See, that determines exactly where this is, and so through math, that's how I get the exact time of day through this animation. But see, yeah, I put this all in a symmetrical way that I could understand and do math from the time gadget so that it would make sense. And it should pretty much work no matter where you are. One thing I noticed is that, it might get darker at 6 p.m. or whatever in the game before it really does in real life, or vice versa. It might, get darker in real life before it does in the game. That's just because it varies a little bit. But so far I've seen that it's basically accurate. Let's see. The original version here, Day-Night Cycle 2, you can find it in the genealogy here. Basically, the timeline was set up like this. So it's pretty much the same animation, day to the purple, and then the night. But see, it's all like shifted over a little bit. And I pretty much left it like that until I had to match the actual time gadget for this jam. But it's so cool because like then these tools came out of it, you know. Now we have the real-time day-night cycle. And just one piece of this. And I said, what did I say I was going to show? Oh yeah. So one thing, when we look down, we can see that our puppet is right below us. In the DualShock mode, see, we can't pick up anything. We can't pick up our beach ball or move it in the DualShock mode. But yeah, it automatically detects which mode you're in. Basically, it detects whether you're using these actually, but it gives you the VR controls when you turn on your VR. Now time elapsed and everything has reset. But yeah, got my imps. And I have the message, of course. Please take the time to vote for this creation in the Time Gadget Community Jam. So, if you wanted to do that, you would basically start here at the, the start menu. You're at home. Just click the start button. It's this middle teal one here for Community Jam. Just hit X. And it's all the way on the right here. This little get involved as a player. If you click here and go to play here, it'll give you 5 creations. In VR, I think it gives you 1 at a time, but it'll give you creations and then you can vote on them. And see, there's, I think, 13 days to go. Yeah, there's 13 days to go for the Time Gadget Jam. So if you want to vote for me, I'd really much appreciate that, because I put a whole bunch of work into this jam, and I think a lot of great things came of it. You know, we've got the template for calendars now. We've got, the digital clocks. We've got the analog clock. We've got unmilitary time. Beach ball. But yeah, see, this guy, the first person guy with watch idle animation, based off of this guy, first person guy, which is based off of this guy, casual clothing, pants and belt, pants. I made like one piece at a time as I was doing this, but he basically started out like this. So this is the puppet I took and remixed. Pretty awesome creation. The male form Athletic by the Red Prophet, 2 T's. And yeah, so I sculpted the face here. I can't really look at it from, but with edit mode, yeah, sculpted the face, and I made an ear. So I was working on this guy beforehand, though, to be fair, but then I remixed him into a first person puppet. It's pretty cool because, like, his head will show up if you're not possessing him, but if you are possessing him, then his head disappears. But he just has casual clothes, but there's a lot of different versions of this guy. One with more facial hair. But I just put the basic one in my my time jam. But yeah, we've got the winter scene, the summer scene, the autumn scene, the spring scene. And all these building blocks can be used for whatever, you know. I encourage anybody to take it and remix stuff with it. Like I said, I'll probably be making a 2023 calendar. If you look at the calendar all by itself. See, we got a watch here. This was originally made by, I believe, yeah, Redep 1994. Because, yeah, they made this watch here. And so, yeah, I took it and painted it black. And then I added, you know, my own, let me turn off this little floor, my own text there. And see, there's a space with all the days. And then I have logic that's ready to be fed the date. And then it puts it based on here, based on the calendar. So you have to have your calendar in a scene in order for this watch to give you a date. I don't think it does it automatically, though. I basically set it up. Because, man, it was a hassle to string all this stuff together in time. But I think in the end, like, I got pretty far with it, you know? And I did almost everything you could do in terms of, like, making, you know, little things with the time gadget. So, of course, every time you start it, it starts fresh when it comes to time elapsed, you know? So here we're 14 seconds. I just started this in play mode just now. But 11:04, so now it'll be time elapsed since, you know, 11:04 when this started. And all of our skis are reset and everything. But back in VR again, we can grab them. So yeah, that's about everything, I think. I might be missing something, but I doubt it. So, if you have dreams for PlayStation, please check this out, because I think it's pretty neat. And if you have the VR, definitely give that a shot, because this is, you know, it's a fun little thing to mess around with and demonstrate VR capabilities in dreams. Not too many people use VR in dreams. I think a lot of people will appreciate this when they, you know, give dreams a try. Birds. Yeah, someone else made this butterfly. But yeah, I pulled all these elements together. Someone else made the waterfall. I think I made this grass. Yeah, I made this grass. But yeah, I pulled all these elements together into a nice scene. And some of the stuff that I made myself, like the snowman, the beach ball, and you know, every time element, like the digital clock, the analog clock. I made all that and sculpted it from scratch as well. The calendar. It was definitely a lot of work, and you know, I hope you guys enjoy it if you do get a chance to check this out. And if you vote for it, I really appreciate that. And yeah, again, feel free to use all of the building blocks that came out of this jam. I gotta say, it was really fun participating in this. And, you know, I hope other people enjoy playing this as much as I did. and I look forward to seeing brand new creations that people will make, out of, these building blocks. Because my favorite thing about this game is, seeing how other people are gonna use the things that I made, what kind of game that someone's gonna want this analog clock for. So if if you do have dreams, you know, definitely follow me and I'll follow you back. I'm Jester-876 on here, and I made a lot of stuff that's pretty fun. You can play Bus VR Simulator. I promise you'll enjoy this stuff. I had a lot of fun making it. Like, you can play Boondocks, and yeah, like, you know, read the descriptions because they pretty much explain how to play most of these games. But yeah. Quick show off Bus VR Simulator. Gotta plug my VR simulator. But yeah, check it out. There's a lot of fun stuff to play in my creations here. So Jester-876, follow me, and yeah, if you vote for me in this community jam, I appreciate it. There's only I think 50 submissions to this community jam. Like, this is all of them. See, it goes from here, and you've got and you can see the ones I voted for. They have a little sticker above them, that green sticker. One I really liked was this wonderful time-telling thing, by who's it by? I'll find it here in it. I like this too, this Dreams Bar by Gabri87 Rock. That was cool, that Dreams Bar. They make a lot of nice creations. And see, I voted for a couple things. Anything that basically had something that functioned and worked properly because of the time gadget, I pretty much voted for. Or I tried to. This was cool. Well-fed wall. Wonderful time-telling thing. So, I voted for that. And yeah. See, a couple more. Maybe about 50 or 60 entries total. And that's the end of the list. See? That's pretty much it. So they show you 5 at a time. You might not see mine, but, if you do see it and if you do vote for it, appreciate you very much, because I would, I'd be stoked if I were able to win a badge, even the 25% badge. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this demo of my VR Time Gadget Expo. And have fun playing Dreams. Till next time, I'll see you all later, okay? Toodaloo!